Hello out there. We're on the air. Happy Thursday, folks. Happy Thursday to yous. Oh, look at this hoodie. Look at this hoodie. It simply does not get any better than this. Had my black one on Tuesday, and this is my other new one. We are right about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, actually, speaking of that, I should start the show with that. I just got to do one thing here quickly. I forgot to do. I got to send the link to the PGA pool, boys and girls, with the names, with the teams. There we go. Okay. How are we doing, everybody? What was I talking about there? Oh, yeah, Frankie. Frankie, let's start the show with Frankie today because he deserves it. Love this dude. I think he's from the East Coast of Canada, actually. The East Coast. Here it is. Almost forgot about this. I sent it the other day.
The Bitcoin is above $100,000 American currency as of right now. Bitcoin, it's above $100,000 in American currency. Bitcoin!
Oh, what a legend. Frankie McDonald, what a legend. Okay, well, we're in for a good show today, folks. This one's titled, They Are Going to Remember Your Name. They are going to remember your name, contrary to popular belief. But I got a couple things I want to talk about to start the show today. I guess we should start with making sure everybody's here on the Zaps, checking in with the chat. Cleaner Machine, CYM. Good morning, my friend. Beat Killer. Oh, Beat Killer this morning. Nice. It was Cleaner Machine's birthday yesterday. Sent him a couple sats for number 56. So cheers, Cleaner Machine. Big time supporter of the show here, of the channel. And I didn't know it was your birthday. I guess we didn't do a show on YouTube anyways yesterday, but happy belated birthday, my friend. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. And you're very well liked and very well respected within the communities here. So cheers to you, my friend. Killer got beat. That's tough look for him. Great start. Great start to the show today. I was doing a show with Rajat and Forrest yesterday. We filmed a couple videos yesterday. Actually, one's coming out at 10 a.m. today, 11 a.m. Eastern time, talking about Coinbase. And I actually want to talk about that a little bit later as well. But anyways, oh, look at this. Josh, I owe you an apology too, my friend. But Josh just sent in 8,888 sats, a legendary zap to start the day today. Thank you, Josh. And yesterday on the Proof of Work show, I actually said that it was LaughPad who sent in that amount, but it was Josh. So sorry, Josh. I misspoke. LaughPad sent in the DCA, the dollar coffee average. And it was Josh that sent in the legendary zap yesterday. So thank you, Josh. And I apologize for screwing that up yesterday. What the hell was I doing here? I don't know. Oh, I was going to share this with Noster. Make sure Noster knows we're live. Oh, Arnie's buzzing. Arnie has been buzzing since about 8 p.m. last night. Just like out of control. Not out of control. He's within control, but he's just been buzzing. Actually, for the last week, ever since he's been healed, he's just been going bananas. Lots of cooped up energy. Lots of pent up energy, just like the pent up demand right now in the Bitcoin world. Okay, so Noster knows. Tommy D's here. Coinbase leaked all customer info last night. Yeah, I'm gonna do a 5 or 10 minute segment on that this morning. That's kind of my plan. So I'll put that on the back burner for now. Got a couple different things to tie in with that. Because that is pretty scary stuff. I'm not gonna lie. And it's something we got to be taking a little bit more seriously, I think, in our journey. Let me see if I can find that. Is it the same one? 90, yes. Okay. All right. Frank, good morning, Jor. Family, Bitcoin still affordable. Keep stacking sats. Good morning, Frank. Good to see you. Ginger, good morning, my friend. Bodie says, Bitcoin generations. Good morning, friends. Live today at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Bodie, I sent you a text today. It's Thursday, which means golf day, and I do have a couple things I need to do in the city beforehand. I got to send a bunch of stuff, including these hoodies today. So as of now, I'm not going to be able to make the Bitcoin Generation show, but it is 10 degrees here and rainy and windy. So the course might not even be open today. So I texted you, but I'll let you know, Bodie, if I can assume that I can't make the show today. But anyways, make sure you stop by and see Bodie at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Let me just bring up his channel here quickly. Or Leggy. J-Dog, see why I'm hitting it first today. Good morning. Oh, look at that. Maddie's got a new video. Popped up right on my screen here. What am I looking for? Bitcoin generations. I also want to say a little shout out to, I doubt they're watching this, but these are the kind of zaps that I really enjoy for some reason. I don't know why. But it's this was yesterday, last night. I'm thinking this was during the replay show. But it says it's 63 sats, and the note says donation. Donation spelt differently. So I'm assuming this was from somebody overseas or somewhere. But I just love that. I love that anybody around the world can support the show, support the channel without having to enter their name in or anything like that. They can just send, what is that worth? 9 cents. 9 cents worth of value to me. But the thing is like that means 100 times 9 cents to me. So again, you don't have to be the fattest zapper here, but all the donations do help, and it's a good positive feedback loop for me to keep doing what I'm doing here. So there's Bodie. That's Bitcoin Generation show today. It'll be on at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And I just saw Maddie pop up on my screen here too, so I should give her a shout out. Satoshi Central in the same sentence here. So there's Maddie's channel. Go over there and subscribe to her. She's got 5 videos out there. All been very good so far. And she's got a bright future. So she's talking about Bitcoin only. She's a female. So we have to support the people who are talking about Bitcoin. You got to ask yourself, what role are you playing on Team Bitcoin here? Are you an advocate? Are you a supporter? Are you a developer? You got to play that role, and you got to play it a little bit better. So at least you could do is head over to Maddie's channel and Bodie's. Both those two are talking about the right things, talking about Bitcoin only. So when the new people show up here on the internet, on YouTube, and they type in Bitcoin or crypto, we want these faces to show up, not the grifters out there, not the scammers. We want the right information getting out there. So that's Maddie, and that is Bodie. So please go and check out their channels and subscribe. Again, you can always unsubscribe. That's the thing. It's free to do, and you can always unsubscribe. If you don't like what they're talking about or it's too much, whatever. But just give them a little boost. I'd appreciate that. Tommy says if you bought from Coinbase, you should sell back immediately. Driver's licenses were leaked. I mean, here's the thing. I did a replay last night because on Wednesdays we don't do a show on the channel here, right? We do our proof of work for the Living in the Future community. And so I didn't have a replay to do last night. So I actually looked back on StreamYard, and there was an older video from February 2024. And I replayed that one. I did a new stream of that one. And on that show, that was a year and a half ago, I was saying the exact same things. I had a chart of who owns the Bitcoin. I said, if you have any Ethereum today, don't wait to sell that Ethereum for Bitcoin. Sell it today. And probably somewhere around that time too, I was saying, stop using Coinbase. They are not a good company. They're not good for Bitcoin. They're not Bitcoin friendly. They are the enemy, in fact. So between Ethereum, between Coinbase, between XRP, all the stuff we've been talking about is going to play out. It's just, are you going to be stubborn enough to take action, or lazy enough to take action, or are you going to do something about it? So yes, I agree. Nobody should be using Coinbase. Zero people. There's no reason to use them. People used to use them because they were the only option available. Binance, Coinbase. But now you got dozens of better options in North America. So yeah, it's a sad situation. I just don't understand it myself. But anyways, what do I know? Ian, yo, 88 sats family. And Jor, happy stacking Thursday. Sats are still cheap, but not for long. That is true. And we got a couple fat zaps here. We got Letha, 2.1 thousand sats, 2,100 sats. Thank you, Letha. Another big supporter of the 88 sats radio channel. And Killer, 760 sats. We got a lot of people in Zap stream today. Say hi if you're watching. Say hi and let us know what Nostr client you're watching from over on the Zap stream, if you want to. Donnie, good to see you. Nice hoodie. Hoodie is too fresh. Cool hoodie. Yeah, these things are beauties, man. I can't believe how good these turned out. They're actually a lot better than I thought they were going to be. I kind of wanted the font to be a little bit smaller, but I think this is the perfect size. And it's a really good way to wear some Bitcoin gear without it being too obvious, right? You can just see the little wee B there if you're looking hard enough, but for the average person, they would have no idea what that is. So I still have a couple of these left. I think we sold one of them on the last show, but we should have 2 more larges, 1 more XL, and 1 3X of the limited edition. Hard to do that. Twist myself out of my chair here. So Josh is watching on Amethyst. That's my favorite place to watch as well. Sandman, stay humble, stack sats. Amen. Morning, Jordan Arn. Carney is wrong for federal leader. Yeah, true. But thank God for Bitcoin. Rick Costa, the man himself, in the chat, reminding us to press the like button. Oh, I got the wrong picture on here today. Why is there no thumbnail? We got 3 likes in here? No way. No chance. That can't be right. Channel's been buzzing lately. Had a couple of videos that went viral in the last little while here. And we hit 10K on Friday. And we have 10.3K already. So we've had 300 subscribers in the last couple days. Pretty impressive. You might say, whoa. You might say we're buzzing. You might say the channel's buzzing. Okay, so let me check this out. Oh, 36, not bad. It's still only half the people though. What's going on? What's the rest of your problem? What's the rest of your guys' problem? I'm going to throw out a super chat goal today too. I'm going to put $5, 10 of them, and we're going to buy some Bitcoin. See if anybody bites. Balls in your court, YouTube. Or as Ricky would say, Paul's in your court. Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. Oh, nice. Fuck. Yesterday I was doing the show on on the Living in the Future Patreon, and this was going on. The mic was cutting off, the camera was cutting off. The lights were flickering. I'm like, what are we doing here? I guess I'm not charging enough for the memberships here. But Josh says, Jordan, update on them Maple Bitcoin hoodies. I want liberals to be shocked when they see her because they believe in fiat. I was planning to pick them up today. I still might go into the city even if the golf is canceled, but I still might go into the city and pick them up. So hopefully today I'm going to be picking them up and sending them off, but if not next week, we'll see. Another frog. Look at that. Morning, my friend. And we got a shortcut to Letha here. One of our Bitcoin journeymen zapped the stream today and also sent in a $5 super chat. They don't call her Letha the icon for nothing. And when I say they, I mean we. I got to turn this light off. Get some extra shine out of the hoodie today. Okay. Rock. Good morning, Rock. Don't forget to like and comment. 73 from Kentucky. You lucky dog. Dalton says, hey, Jor, I think I'm late. What time do you start? 9:30 usually. Some days a couple minutes later. Hey, look who it is. Stephen Burns. The man himself. Catching the show on the Zap stream on Amethyst. Love that. And sent in 100 sats. Thank you, Stephen. That's the Stephen, I think, right? I'm used to seeing him on YouTube. But anyways, kind of cool happenings today. 10 degrees, that is Celsius. BTC Hunger Pains, good morning. Got the like. All right, Gregory, anyone going to the conference? Yes, I'm going to the conference. Looking forward to it. It's in less than 2 weeks now. I think like 10 days, actually. 9 days. My God. I'm not ready. I'm very, very, very not ready for it. But, Stephen with another zap. Fat zap of 888 sats. Thank you, Stephen. Greg, yes, we will be going. We are there. We're having a little living in the future event, you might say. Party. And then some supper. So if you're in living in the future and you're going to Vegas, let me know ASAP as possible. ASAP as possible, as Michael Scott would say. Dale, quick bit. Good morning from Saskatchewan. Good morning, Dale. Good to see you, my friend. Always, if you're in the market for anything Bitcoin related, make sure you check out QuickBit. We got an 88 sats radio package on there, a couple different packages. But even if you're not in the market for a cold storage device, which you should be if you don't have one, but even if you're not, QuickBit's got a lot of different things on here. You got books, you got shirts, you got hats, hoodies, panties even. Panties and underwear for men you can buy on QuickBit, and you can get everything you need here. You can buy the cold cards. You can buy Trezor. You can buy the Blockstream Jade. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can buy the Blockstream Jade. Oh my God. Anyways, yeah, you can get her all here. Trezor, CoinKite, Seedor. So that's QuickBit, Regina, Saskatchewan. Especially if you're in Canada. It's a really good place to buy from because number one, you get really good customer service. If you order something and you need have a question about whatever, you can give QuickBit a call. You won't be able to do that with any other of the manufacturers here. Good luck calling Trezor. So that's number one. You get good customer support, but also very quick shipping. I think they usually ship off their products within a day. And if you're in Canada, especially, you won't have to pay any duties. Any new, what are they called? Tariffs. And Dale says if you buy 88 sats starter kit, you get a free ticket to Vegas. Wow. Wow. And those tickets are like $500 US. So if you're not planning on going to Vegas, you might have a good reason to now. And you can get this is the bundle right here. It's unreal deal, actually. So you get 2 Jades, you get the cold card, you get some steel, and you get a free ticket to Vegas. So there's a code too. I think the code's 88 sats, but I'm not sure if it's applicable for that or not with the free ticket. But anyways, give her a shot. 95 or $950 Canadian, which is like $3 American for all that. All right. Jay Burleson, 360. Good morning, my friend. Paul, welcome from Cyprus. Cyprus. Where the heck is Cyprus? Cyprus. Don't know. Hey, what did Dale say? Still 88 sats promo code. Wow. So 950 Canadian minus 15% with the 88 sats promo code. Plus, you get a free ticket to Vegas. I mean, Dale's throwing in the kitchen sink there too. That's a heck of a deal, Dale. Hopefully a couple people take advantage of that. That'd be awesome. T. Fuller, respect from Toronto. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you here. It's a new face. Phillips Adventures. It's a good question. Why do you think Bezos and all these wealthy people haven't gone ahead and just dump a quick 100 million or 1 billion? Do you think they really don't know as well, or are they waiting? I would say a couple different things on that. That is a good question. I think a lot of people are wondering that. But my answer would be, I'm pretty sure Bezos, I'm pretty sure Buffett, I'm pretty sure Gates. I know, what's his name? Tim Cook. He's a Bitcoiner. I know that they have Bitcoin. They just have, there's a lot of people who pay attention to them. And I don't think that they want the average person to be buying Bitcoin yet. Although Tim Cook, Tim Apple, as Trump calls him, has come out publicly and said that he owns Bitcoin. But the other thing too is they don't need it, right? They don't need to buy Bitcoin. If you got $1 billion, you're going to have a pretty hard time losing that $1 billion. If you got $1 million, like it's the millionaires who should be really paying attention here, because there's going to be a lot of millionaires today in fiat land in the current system who are not going to be millionaires in the future. Because not every millionaire is going to be able to get to 1 Bitcoin. But you might not even need 1 Bitcoin to be of that same kind of status as a millionaire. I think if you're a whole coiner today, and I don't think there's going to be many more whole coiners coming down the road. I think that that's only going to go down. That we pretty much peaked for the people owning 1 Bitcoin for the most part. But I do think that billionaires are going to be fine. Millionaires are going to be, their head will spin one day when they realize that they can't even afford 1 Bitcoin. Because if you think about it, I mean, this is how you have to think about it. Like a millionaire, somebody who's got $1 million. I'm sure there's people watching this show who know a millionaire or two in their life. But how much of that million is actually in cash? Wealthy people do not hold their wealth in cash. And so they might have like, out of $1 million, they might have 50,000 in cash, maybe. The rest is in stock market, real estate, bonds, all that bullshit. So it's not easy for even a millionaire to just go out and buy 1 Bitcoin today. Even at that, let's say the best case a millionaire is $50,000 in cash. Even if they decide to dump 100% into that, they would still only end up with half a Bitcoin right now. And I don't think they're in the business of trading their other assets because they haven't put in the time to understand Bitcoin yet. So for people like Bezos, Gates, they don't care. $1 billion, they wake up one day and Bitcoin's $100 million, they can still buy a couple of them. Like they don't care. They don't care. If you got $1 billion, you're never going to have to worry about Bitcoin again. It's not something that you think about. There's a huge difference between 1 million and 1 billion. Basically, 1 billion. So it's something that we can't really understand in our minds. But yeah, I think that's why. They just don't need to know. That's what Saylor's been talking about too. Bitcoin is for people who need to know. Bezos does not need to know. Although I'm sure he has some, but yeah, it's not in their benefit to tell people about it. That's what you got to remember. Kale, hi from Madrid. Wow. We got 90 people in here right now. Let me know in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from today. What country? Some people have already, but for everybody else. Don Troll, good morning. We're doing great here. Renita, one of our Bitcoin journeymen. Good morning, Jorah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Renita. Thanks for being here. So yeah, drop a comment. If you're watching this later too, put what country you're from. And if you're a female, like Renita. I mentioned that yesterday. Only about 5% of the viewership on this show is women. And then there was a couple people who commented saying, hey, I'm a female, I'm a woman. So if you're watching it now or later, and drop your country, drop your female, if you're a female. We'll have to toast with Guinness. Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. Devesh says, what's your opinion of our security for crypto people after what happened in Paris, France? I'm going to be talking about that. In a couple minutes here. Don Troll says, I watched your video on Superbacked. If I store my seed phrase separate from the passphrase on a password manager, for example, if someone catches my seed phrase, he will only have the empty wallet, right? Yes. Yeah, with Superbacked, you actually need the passphrase and the QR codes. And with those QR codes, you could set up as a single, like 1 of 1, or you could do 2 of 3, where you actually need 2 of your QR codes plus your passphrase to unlock your secret phrase there. I have a funny feeling that as Bitcoin goes up for the next 6 months here, there's going to be a lot of people looking for Superbacked, because it is the best way by far that I've found to store your Bitcoin. And we're the only company currently who's offering the solution. So again, Superbacked is nice because you can maintain full ownership of your Bitcoin. You don't have to trust anybody. You don't have to enter your name. We don't even need to know your last name. It's fully non-KYC. We don't know how much Bitcoin you have. We don't hold a key to it. We just basically teach you how to set it up. And finally, the best case, especially with these Paris attacks going on, you don't have to have a single trace of Bitcoin in your house. You don't have to keep your device. You don't have to keep your steel plate anywhere. So it is a little bit more work. It's a little bit more work than going with somebody like Unchained or Casa. It's a little bit more work, but it is the best way to secure your Bitcoin. And if you're serious about this stuff, if you want to have that Bitcoin in 20 years from now, you should be taking actionable steps towards a multi-sig and then into Superbacked. Or if you just want to skip the multi-sig and beef up your current setup, you can use Superbacked for that as well. Joey says, do you recommend the crypto-backed loans they have in Coinbase? No, never. There's a lot of people trying to do too much right now. There's a lot of people, I think, this is my theory right now. There's a lot of people who got into Bitcoin in the last 6 months, and they've basically seen it go sideways for 6 months. And so now they're looking for different ways to try to make more money. They're giving it to Coinbase. They're buying bullshit companies who now have a Bitcoin treasury. They're trying to buy Ethereum or XRP or whatever. They're trying to shortcut things. And there's no shortcuts in Bitcoin. There's just not. On the other hand, though, Joey, I posted a video yesterday called The Quickest Path to 0.25 Bitcoin. The quickest way to get 25 million sats. And one of my recommendations was actually to take out a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. So if you got net equity in your house, you could go to the bank and say, hey, I want I want a line of credit. Like this is the example that I used. If your house is worth $200,000 or sorry, $500,000. So the value of your house, and you can find that on your property tax bill, your assessment of the property. If your house is worth $500,000, but your mortgage is only $300,000, you have a net asset there, a net equity in that house of $200,000. And you could go to the bank and take out a home equity line of credit. You don't have to take out like the full $200,000, but you can take out 10,000 or 20,000. And really, what do you have to lose? That's kind of, and I didn't mention that in the video, but like, what do you have to lose? So you have to add a couple more years to your mortgage death sentence anyways? Who cares? And the arbitrage there is so big and so wide that it doesn't even make sense not to do it. It's like Bitcoin is growing. The purchasing power of your Bitcoin is growing 50% a year on average. 50%. That's the growth of that asset versus a mortgage rate, an interest rate of 3, 4, 5%. That's a huge spread. That's the arbitrage here. That's what strategy is doing. That's what all these companies are doing. That's the arbitrage. It would be different if the mortgage was 20% and Bitcoin was returning 25%. Then I might have a little bit different thoughts on this. But like 50% growth versus 5% outflows, it doesn't even make sense not to. Plus, the thing I threw in there, and I would encourage everybody to go watch that video today if you haven't yet. But the brilliance of that strategy, because everybody said that before, go to the bank, get a line of credit, buy Bitcoin. But the genius of my strategy that I mentioned was that to keep your spouse happy, get your spouse on board, you could actually, so let's go back to that same example there. You have $200,000 net equity in your house. You could take $15,000, buy Bitcoin, or 10, whatever amount you want, whatever amount you think you need. And then you take the other $10,000 or $15,000 and you upgrade your house. You fix up your bathroom that you've been wanting to do for a while. You redo your kitchen. You buy a hot tub. You buy a pool. You do something that will increase the value of your house. And so you got some Bitcoin, you got your mortgage, you got your line of credit, and you got some fixes to your house, which increases the value of your house. And everybody's happy. I think that's a much better path than just trying to go to the bank and say, hey, I want to buy some Bitcoin, and your spouse being okay with that too. So this is a good strategy, I think. So this is actually, this is my, the original video to this was the most viral video I've had on the channel, but it looks like this one has surpassed it already. It's been 9,000 people watched this in 21 hours. I mean, it's pretty good for this little wee channel. So there's the video there. It's called Accelerate Your Bitcoin Stack with This Crazy Strategy. I would much rather do something like that, Joey, than trusting Coinbase with your Bitcoin. Dinkles, Mr. Dinkles, has anyone seen the Jack Cruz video on Marty's channel this morning? Already taken down. Oh, wow. Already taken down. So I wonder how we'll be able to watch that now then, if it's off of YouTube. I'm guessing there'll be people wanting to watch it, and I'm guessing they'll find a way to put it back up somehow. Cyprus is Bitcoin paradise. Interesting. Tell us more. Tell us more. Joey, look at this. Thank you, my friend. I'm glad I answered your question now. $5, super chat. Sometimes you just got to ask. I put a goal on there for 10 super chats of $5 each. And so far we're at 2. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. So on that note, I got the QR code right beside my head here. This is Arnie's wallet right there. And so you can scan that. You can send in any amount of sats. It looks like, oh, we got a couple here. So somebody sent in 821 sats anonymously. Thank you. And Ian, wow. Ian sent in a legendary zap today. 8,888 sats saying, thanks for the knowledge and support, my friend. Orange Heart Ian. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate that, my friend. So that was right here. And if you don't have a QR code or you don't know how to use it, or you're watching this on your phone, you can also send it to bitcoinjourney@speed.app if you feel like supporting the channel. Because keep in mind here, this channel is and always will be 100% community funded. I think that's the special part of this channel, is that we don't take any money from anybody. And so we get to say whatever we want to. We're not influenced by anybody. And I think that's important. As we've seen in the last couple cycles, some of the people who were trusted voices in the space started taking money from FTX, Celsius, Ledger. So there's no chance, there's no sponsor. Fully supported by the community. And sometime in the future, we're also going to have to update our infrastructure here, because this is getting crazy. This is getting crazy. Now I'm green. The green light is on. I guess that's what we're saying. Green means go. Hopefully you can still hear me here at least, because I know you can't see me. There you go. We're back. We're trying to remain calm and cheerful here about the situation. But it's hard, you know. Bezos and friends, 1 OTC, 2 already bought, 3 paid to play. They've already been paid to go away. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Jor, blink twice if you're a whole coiner. So here's the thing, Chico. I'll look you right into the camera here and tell you the God's honest truth. I have no idea how much Bitcoin I have. I have a decent idea, but I probably haven't checked my balance of the wallets that I have. I haven't added it up for probably 2 years. And I don't really plan to, because I don't really have a goal of like becoming a whole coiner and then shutting it down. It's not what I'm here for. I think that that's just a distraction. My focus is on adding value. My focus is on protecting the sats that I have. And, you know, it'll play out like it does. Why would I care how much I have? What good is that? What good is that going to do me? You know, if I took half a day and added up my Bitcoin, you know, because I have them in different places. Obviously, I think that everybody should have their Bitcoin kind of spread out a little bit. But yeah, different wallets, different devices, different setups. And why would I take half a day to figure that out? Like, why? So I don't think I am yet, but I want to be within the next couple of years. And I think I'm going to do it. So we'll see. Again, I don't want to spend any time thinking about it because, you know, even if I did have one, it's not like I'm going to shut down shop here or be satisfied with that. I want them all. Just like Joe. Joe says the same thing. I want them all. I want all the sats. And you know why? Because every sat that I have isn't a sat that Bezos will have, that Lutnick will have, that Saylor will have, Mahler's, the government, Trudeau, Carney. Every sat that I have and I put into my cold storage is one sat that they won't have. And I know for a fact that if Bitcoin works out and I end up having a bit of wealth, I'm going to do good with it. So I want it all. I'm not going to get to one and then stop. That's for fucking sure. So focus on adding value. The value will flow back. That should be everybody's goal. We get a record number of people in here, I think, right now on YouTube. Maybe not. I think when Trump won the election, we had like 150 in here, but ever since then, Bitcoin went kind of sideways. So anyway, shout out to everybody on YouTube. Shout out to bigger shout out to the folks on Zapstream. Kind of quiet over there, but there is a good crew, good crowd. Cold card Q worth the extra expense? Yes, I would say so. I would say so myself. And on that note, in case anybody is looking for a cold card out there, I'll share a little link. Somebody accused me of making money from selling cold cards. And I showed my balance that I've made in the last 2 years of sharing my code. It was like $150 and I got a store credit for it. So I'm not telling people to buy the cold card so I can make money off it. I'm telling people to buy the cold card because it is the best way to store your Bitcoin. Get 3 cold cards with super backed and you're never going to have to think about your security again. For real. And that should be everybody's goal. Because it's one thing to get the sats. It's one thing to get excited about Bitcoin going up. But if you don't have good security around your Bitcoin, it's not going to matter in 20 years because your Bitcoin's going to be gone. And you're going to live the rest of your life in regret. Saying, you know what? I should have listened to Jor. I should have taken a little bit more time and just made sure my Bitcoin was safe. Devesh says, hi from Mauritius. What the hell's that? What the hell's a Mauritius? I got to look that up. Mauritius. East Africa. Wow. Wow. Looks beautiful. Check this out. Divesh, I might be paying you a visit one day here. Let's look at the little spread, look at that. Wow. That would take me a day and 8 hours to fly there. That looks so cool. My God. What are you doing watching the show right now? Is that a golf course? That looks pretty golf coursey to me. My God. Davesh, email me. I will gladly fly a day and 8 hours to be there. Davesh, email me ASAP. Wow. I'm glad I asked. There's 1.2 million people that live there. Wow. That is unbelievable. That's my new goal. Get to Mauritius in my life. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. Hey, look at this. We got another super chat. Otis Hare Jr., the best name in Bitcoin, the man, the protector of Jerry Loves Freedom, and doing some pretty special things himself in the Bitcoin space. We talked about Bodhi. We talked about Maddie. And now we got to talk about Otis Hare. I absolutely love that name. I cannot love that name any more than I do. Otis Hare Jr. I might even name my kid Junior after with respect to Otis. I love that. So thank you, Otis. And there's Otis's channel right there. Guy's doing work. He's doing well. He's got 3.45 subscribers already, and he's hasn't been doing it very long, but people like his message, and I'm one of those people. So thank you, Otis. Appreciate that, my friend. All right, I'm way behind here. Sheesh, how did this happen? Got too distracted by Mauritius. Dalton's in Denver. Mert's in Berlin, like every day. TWT says, love seeing United Health go down. I didn't see anything about that. Yeah, there's a lot of health things that need to go down. Dalton says, my wife is a new viewer. Wow. Cheers to Dalton's wife. Thanks for being here. The women in Bitcoin are the real heroes of the world. And the men. Men don't get enough credit sometimes. Men carry a lot of stuff on their shoulders. So shout out to the men too. A lot of love for the women, obviously, but cheers to the men. There's a good song by Lee Bryce, and maybe we'll play it at the end of the show today. It's called "Attaboy," and it's a great song. It's a good reminder that sometimes the boys just need a little bit of a pat on the back because we put up with a lot of shit. But anyways, shout out to the women too. Daft's from France. Morning, Daft. Sammy says 56 million millionaires on Earth. If each wanted 0.1 of a Bitcoin, that's 5.6 million Bitcoin. There simply isn't enough Bitcoin to go around. Less than 2 million Bitcoin on the exchanges. Actually, for the Maple Bitcoin video we did yesterday, we actually looked at what it would look like if all 50,000 public companies wanted to buy Bitcoin and how much they would end up with. And it is not much. It is not much. I won't give anything away, but it is not much. Don Troll said Switzerland. Ironically, one of the strongest fiat systems in the world. But Switzerland also has, is it Lugano? That has the big Bitcoin community there? Lugano? I don't know what it is. Something like that. Watts Miner, good morning. Belgium, Ardman. Wow. So cool. Dalton, Frank says, Dalton, I had the cold card MK4 and then got the Q also. I prefer the Q for larger screen, the keys, and the batteries. That's why I like it as well. Larger screen's nice, but the batteries, where you don't have to be like 2 feet away from the wall like you do with an MK4. That's why I like the Q. You could get both, though. Like, they're both really solid devices. And again, it's never a bad idea to kind of spread out your Bitcoin a little bit. You don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. You want everything to be in Bitcoin or Bitcoin-related products and companies, but you don't want it to be all in one spot. Frank says, I love Superbacked and the inheritance protocol. I mean, that's what I always forget to mention with it too, is like, not only is it the best possible security for Bitcoin, but it also comes with an inheritance protocol that's very detailed, very organized, very structured. And if something were to happen to you unexpectedly, your family's going to be able to restore your Bitcoin, which is a very, very, very big deal because life is very unexpected. And anything could happen to any one of us at any time. Wow, the super chats are flowing today. Again, I guess I just got to ask sometimes. Look at this. Bodie, $5. Thanks for the great content. Thank you, Bodie. Genius. OJ, $5. Love your channel, man. Keep going. Bitcoin forever. And Gregory, $5 as well. Wow. You guys are fucking awesome. So I very much appreciate that. But the nice thing is that actually, like, YouTube loves that. YouTube loves when people are sending in super chats. So the monetary aspect of that, great, but also just doing it. So if you can spare a couple bucks and help get the channel a little bit further out there, that means a lot to me. So thank you, everybody. Bodie, Gregory, I'll review them at the end, but thank you guys. Otis. M. Vincent says 1 out of 21 million of all land in the U.S. is approximately 116 acres. MicroStrategy owns a plot slightly larger than Colorado. Wow. That's a cool visual. That's how I talk. That's how I think about Bitcoin too. And I mean, it's one of those things. That's why I want to keep doing. Actually, we're going to do that right now. Actually, on that note, because yesterday I was watching the replay there from a year and a half ago, and it was cool because the price at that time was $52,000. The price was $52,000, and the block height was way smaller than it is. The fees were 24 sats per VByte. And so I think that I'm going to start doing more of that on the channels, doing some like time capsule videos just to show like how far we've come and, what we're excited about back then compared to where we are today. So here is the mempool. I'm only about 50 minutes late to this today, but I forgot about it. But we are at block height 896,840, which means that since January the 3rd, 2009, there have been 896,840 blocks mined. And within each of those blocks are just a bunch of transactions. In this block, there were 775 transactions, including the Coinbase transaction here, which is rewarded to the miner, the person who solves the equation. And right now they're getting 3.125 Bitcoin for that, plus the fees. So every time you send Bitcoin on layer 1, you pay a small fee to send it. And all those transaction fees go to the miner who mined the block. So in this case, Antpool won 3.13 Bitcoin, and they got 319,000 worth of fiat value for that. So that is our time capsule for today. Kind of cool. I was watching that video because I was hanging out in the chat, but it was really cool to watch it a year and a half later. And you know what I was talking about, how lame I sounded, and what the price of Bitcoin was a year and a half ago. There was a lot less people in the chat at that time. I think throughout the whole hour show, I think there was like 4 comments. So it's kind of cool. I want to keep doing that. I want to keep doing the, look at that. It's working. See, I'm telling you, we got another one here. Joe, let's get our boy to his 10 stickers. That's number 7, $5. And there's 140 people in here right now. That's a new all-time high for the show. So it works. It's not a myth, not a theory. It works. Proven. So welcome, everybody. It's good to have you here today. We're going to do our best. I was going to only do an hour today, but there's people here. There's comments, so we'll keep her going. We're not leaving. Dinkle says, a HELOC is a title to your property if you default. You best be careful taking out that kind of loan today. Yeah. I mean, I think that in the future, real estate and Bitcoin will go hand in hand. I think that banks will actually require you to hold some Bitcoin as part of the mortgage in the future. We're not there yet. And, you know, if you got a decent stack of Bitcoin, it doesn't really make sense to take on more debt. But if you're somebody who's just getting into Bitcoin, the one thing I would say is get into this, buy as much as you can before you really understand it. And that kind of seems backwards. I think that that's one of most people's main trip ups within Bitcoin is they don't understand it. But I will tell you, the longer you wait, the less Bitcoin you're going to have. That's the usual trajectory and the path for people, is that they get into Bitcoin, they dabble a little bit, they buy $100 worth, $1,000 worth, and then they keep studying Bitcoin. They realize that Bitcoin is the only asset that you should be holding. And then by the time they go to buy more with the money and assets that they had, they get about 25% of what they would have had otherwise. So the best advice I can give you for Bitcoin is just take whatever you have today and buy. Don't try to wait for a dip. Don't try to DCA. Don't put it off. Just take what you have today and dump it into Bitcoin. And again, if you're not comfortable with your security yet, if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave it on the exchange. I would use somebody like River or ShakePay for that. I would not use Coinbase. But you can leave it on there for a couple months, but don't leave it there forever. Make a plan. Get a hold of your security, and then you can transfer later. But it is very safe on like a River or a ShakePay, something like that, where you don't have to worry about losing the keys or getting hacked or anything like that. But again, it should not be the end. You should leave it on there for a little while until you're comfortable, or you hire somebody to help you, and then you move it to your own self-custody wallet. Dinkle says, I mean, here's the thing, Dinkles, like, Dinkles. Here's the thing. Like if I were to add $5,000 or $10,000 to my mortgage today, it's not going to have a real impact on my payment. It might be like $20 more per month with a couple of years added to it. Like it's insignificant. Like I'm not telling you to go buy a full Bitcoin with a line of credit. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But wow, look at this. We had 10. We had 10 super chats. Terry, $1.38. Gregory, second one today, $1.99. Sats and Sunsets, first time catching the show live, enjoying the content. You guys did it. You guys and girls did it. We got to the goal. We got some new faces in the chat this morning, and we're going to keep the party going here. Because why the hell wouldn't we? Prepper Dad says, rather than paying a fee for DCA for each paycheck when removing from Coinbase to your wallet, what would be a good figure or dollar amount to avoid too many fees? I mean, I wouldn't use Coinbase for one. I would be using something like Bitcoin Well. They have very low fees. I think it's just over 1%. You can do a recurring buy on there, and you can actually swap. The one thing, oh shit, I missed a DCA here from LaughPad. Almost slept through the stream today. But yeah, you can use something like Bitcoin Well. They're the best. They got lowest fees and free withdrawals. They're just batch, so you got to wait a little while, but they show up. So I mean, on that note, you actually don't pay any fees. You shouldn't be paying any fees when you withdraw your Bitcoin. There's many different options out there for people to use buy Bitcoin without paying a withdrawal fee. Bitcoin Well is one of them. You pay a small spread on the purchase itself. I think you pay like 1% on the purchase, but for the withdrawals, they're free. So bitcoinwell.com/Jor. That's who I recommend. That's who I use if you're in Canada or the US. But another good one is River. I recommend River for people in the US, and Strike, also good. Ty says, we hear you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we've had a couple of technical difficulties today. Look at this. This is the kind of stuff that I love, just as much as the zaps and the super chats. And Ben says, hi from Colorado, Jor. You're the one that convinced me to finally sell all of my ETH for Bitcoin a couple weeks ago. I've been uncomfortable with ETH for a few years, and you've allowed me to, oops, thanks anyways. It's okay. I got the message there. Thanks for sharing that, Ben. That's awesome. That's what I love to hear. Absolutely love to hear that. Bitcoin Beacon 77. Oh yeah, let's get to our DCA today, which is our metric for measuring the price of Bitcoin. May 15th today. Wow. Time is flying by. It doesn't seem like time's in like 2x mode right now. That's how I feel anyways. So the DCA today from LaughPad, 2938, which means that the price from yesterday is down because we're getting more sats for that $3 coffee. We're getting more sats, which means the price of Bitcoin is down. So that's kind of the beautiful thing about Bitcoin is there's really no way to lose. When Bitcoin's up, your net worth increases. You have more purchasing power. And when Bitcoin's down, you're actually getting paid more for whatever value you provide to the world. So there's the Zap Me a Coffee. That's what we're talking about here. So you can zap a coffee. You don't need an Oster. But if you have a Lightning wallet on your phone, you can click that link I just shared in the chat, and you can zap $3 worth of value for the show in the form of a coffee. So today was 2,938 sats from our good friend LaughPad. Thank you, brother. All right. Well, we got a lot of questions here, and so I'll try to get through the majority of them. But if you have a question, a burning question, you can leave a super chat or send a zap, and I'll make sure we get to those ones. Unfortunately, we're pretty busy today. Pretty busy show. Oh, somebody sent in 5,000 sats to Arnie's wallet. Wow. What a show. We're having a record show today. I don't know why. I guess the super chats help. But anyways, let's keep it rolling here. Ted Lee is camping near Merritt, BC. Love that. Morning, Ted. Don Troll says, reusing multiple times with the same public address to transfer to my cold storage is really dangerous, or is it still safe enough? No, make sure you're using a different Every time you receive Bitcoin, you should be using a different address, different receive address. And so if you're buying Bitcoin on like Bitcoin Well, ShakePay, River, anywhere you're buying Bitcoin, always make sure that you have your receive address in a different, you're using a different one. And the best way to do that is using something like Sparrow, which gives you like 30 different addresses. What the heck? What just happened here now? We still, yeah, we're still okay here, but the video cut. Why? Somebody's after me. Who's after me? I think you heard all that though. I think the video just cut out. Yeah, if you're using something like Sparrow Wallet, you can actually use a different address. They provide you with like an unlimited amount. So they'll all go to the same wallet, but you'll have a different receive address every time. And keep that in mind with your UTXOs. Every time you receive Bitcoin into your wallet, that creates one new UTXO. So addresses and UTXOs are different in that sense because you could actually receive a bunch of different UTXOs within one address. But every time you receive Bitcoin into your wallet, that's one UTXO. So you have to keep that in mind for your privacy in the future whenever you go to spend that Bitcoin and for future transaction fees. If the mempool gets high and you got a bunch of UTXOs to combine to send your Bitcoin, it's going to cost you a lot. And I learned that lesson the hard way a couple times. Joe says, yes, sir, I want all the sats. We have to hold them for the future. That's right. Actually, I'll talk about that in a couple minutes here. Too many comments. Not too many. Lots, though. AD, look at this. Good morning, gang. It's been a while. Good to see you, AD. Good to see you, my friend. Prepper Dad, move a minimum of 200 worth. The fee is 0.32, 0.99 per transaction plus trade. I mean, make sure you're using an exchange that doesn't charge you fees. That's my advice. Bitcoin Well, River, Strike. Welcome to the light side. Yeah, screw Vitalik and his evil ecosystem. That's right. Ty says, thoughts on the Ledger Nano X? No. I mean, no, I wouldn't use it. It's what you got to keep in mind here. Like I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but you're holding the greatest asset that has ever existed in human history before. And so with that, you should be taking every precaution, every measure possible to protect that. So Ledger, I mean, you might be better slightly than keeping on an exchange, but I don't see the need. It's just a waste of money to me. Like if you're going to spend money, do it right. Get a cold card. Cold card's the best. Cold card and super backed. I've talked super backed quite a bit on this channel. I've talked about it today. But if you do have any questions about super backed or you want to set up a call to discuss, you can just shoot me an email, jor@bitcoincitadel.net. All right. Dreadstone just used a Bitcoin ATM to deposit cash for sats in Europe. Nice. Ted says, I use Sparrow Wallet to buy a unique address every time. They transfer my cold wallet. Yes, that's the play. Transfer, use a new address every time. And that's the play. Okay, we got a lot of questions here. Sorry, folks. I'm going to skip a few. ISO, good morning. Good to see you. Otis. Last video was fire from Joe. Lopet says, I like the QR scanner on the queue. It works so damn good. Screener's shitty, though. It's not bad. Basuro. Oh, yeah. Speaking of that trophy, I wanted to name our dipshit of the day today. I don't know if we're going to have time, though, or not. Got the DCA. Thank you, my friend. Terry says, Mike Saylor trusts Fidelity and Coinbase Prime to store 98% of his Bitcoin. Please comment on this factoid. This is nuts. This is nuts. But we do have some good news here to share. Our guy Arnie showed up for work today. Arnie, I know you can hear me. You got the biggest ears in the county. He's ignoring us today. If he only knew that awesome. I love it. So much fun. So fun. Fucking hell. Oh, well, thanks, YouTube. Thanks for such an enjoyable show today. I don't know if it's YouTube's fault, but it's somebody's fault because this is not normal. This is not normal. I can't even highlight comments anymore. Oh, there we go. Knox Bell, good morning. Dalton says, what do you think the next leap on self-custody will be? Something for mass adoption, ideally. No, it's going to be encryption. That's what Superbacked is. And it's funny. I posted a poll last night. Let's check this out. This is actually really good. This is good material here. Because I posted this poll last night and people were laughing at it. And I was like, what? Why are people laughing? This is a legitimate poll. But apparently I messed it up. So I'll bring it up here in a sec, as soon as my internet decides it wants to work for the day. So content, no, we got to go to community. So I'm going to show you the poll here. And I'm going to explain kind of what Superbacked is, because I see some questions in the chat here. And it is important. You know, I don't really have a threshold for using Superbacked, but I think that everybody should have it. I think everybody should be looking into it at least. Are we still working here? Yeah. Okay, how do I find this poll here? Content. Posts. Okay, here it is. Let me bring this up. This was the poll I shared last night. But it turns out it wasn't a poll. It was a quiz. I'm sorry. If you're watching this and it's very painful to watch, I'm sorry. There's nothing that I can do. It's for some reason, just things haven't been working here lately, and I don't know why. But anyways, this was what I thought was a poll, actually turned out to be a quiz. So I put the question was the best way to store your private key. And the options were paper, steel plate, encryption, and other. And apparently I put paper as the correct answer here because it was a quiz. I don't know how that happened. But anyways, people were laughing about that. Sat Stack says, guess I have to transfer my seeds to paper now. Josh says encryption is wrong. And Otis says, dang, Jory, you're cooked. You have to do it as a poll. So that was by accident. But here's the funny thing, though. Here's the funny thing. 50%, 57% of people are actually wrong. Encryption is the right way to do it, 21%. And the funny thing is, if you actually, custodians like Coinbase and Fidelity, like they don't use steel. They don't put any keys or information on steel. Everything that they have is actually on acid-proof paper, laminated. And the reason for that is because it lasts hundreds of years and it's very easy to replace. Imagine if somebody like that was having steel, everything was on steel. First of all, it'd be a very easy target. But they actually keep it on paper. But I'm pretty sure they encrypt it or something. But yeah, that's what super-backed is essentially, is that if you have a device like a cold card, with that cold card, you back up your private key using 12 words. So something like a cold card, passport, Trezor, Ledger, that's your hardware device. That's secure. Somebody's going to need a PIN code to access that and send your Bitcoin, sign a transaction and send that Bitcoin. And that's great. But the problem that most people have or do is that they put their backup phrase, their recovery phrase on steel, which means that if somebody came across that steel plate or paper or whatever that is, they now have your Bitcoin. Regardless of how secure your hardware device is, if they find that steel plate with your 12 or 24 words on it, they now have your Bitcoin without having to do anything. There's no hack there. It's just literally in plain text. And if somebody knew you had Bitcoin and they came to your house, how hard do you think it would be for somebody to find a steel plate with a metal detector? You could hide it in the ground, you could hide it in your walls, but they're still going to be able to find it quite easily. And when they do, they won't have to do any hard work. They're just literally have to type in 12 words and they now have your Bitcoin. So what Superback does is that it encrypts that. It's basically like a secret text box where you put your private key, your 12 words, your metadata, including your fingerprint, your derivation path, your XPub, any other information, a passphrase, a PIN code. You can store all of that in your text box. And to access that, you need a QR code and you need a passphrase combined to unlock your secret. So that's what Superbacked is. That's what it does. It basically acts as a secondary, more secure hardware device if you set it up properly. And so again, you have full ownership of your Bitcoin. You don't have to trust anybody with your Bitcoin. You don't have to tell anybody how much Bitcoin you have. Nobody else holds a key to it. We don't hold a key to it. We don't even need to know your last name, your address, your email, your driver's license. We don't need any of that. It's fully non-KYC. And the best part is you don't have to keep a trace of it on your house. You don't have to keep your hardware device. You don't have to keep a steel plate. You don't even have to keep the QR codes at your house. You could have zero trace of Bitcoin while maintaining full ownership of it without trusting anybody else. There's nothing else in Bitcoin that exists that offers those features. So that's Superbacked. It also comes with a built-in inheritance protocol. So if something were to happen to you, your family would be able to recover your Bitcoin. So that's, to me, Dalton, that's the next step. It's a little bit harder. It's more difficult. But if you're serious about Bitcoin, you should 100% be making your way towards that within your setup. Basuro says, Jordan, my sister is very apprehensive about cold storage. I'm going to refer her to you. No problem. Yeah, if you got any questions, the cool thing about what I do is you can actually book a call with me for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour. And it's called value for value. So you can set up a meeting. We can chat. can answer any questions. I can help you with UTXOs, private key management, super back stuff, and you can just send whatever you think it was worth to you. So you don't have to pay up front. You don't have to buy a whole bunch of hours. You don't have to put in your credit card information. So we do a lot of things around here that nobody else does. Keep going, Jor. I tell people buy it, then learn about it. Yes. Yes. Hey, Gary. I don't know if you're still here or not, but appreciate that, my friend. Bitcoin Buddha says, did I miss the Bitcoin Well giveaway? No, you didn't. We didn't do it yet. We should, though, eh? We only got like 2 minutes here, though. But we should, because Bitcoin Well is the best. Sorry, folks. I'm going to skip a few. Matt, good morning. What is super backed? I just answered that for you, my friend. Thoughts on Tangem? Yes, dog shit. Do not use Tangem. We may want to start a business. We may want to start getting businesses to transact in Bitcoin. Yeah, 100%. That should be everybody's goal. Get more businesses, because it's the businesses who are going to drive adoption. When businesses decide that they want Bitcoin instead of dollars, that's when you want. That's when we're taking off. So here's the giveaway for today. The first person to scan this QR code is going to get some sats, courtesy of our friends at Bitcoin Well. So here we go. I talked about Bitcoin Well. They're the best exchange. I use them for all my Bitcoin purchases, and you should try them out too. Deposit $100, $200, see how you like it. And worst case, you end up with some very cheap Bitcoin with low fees. 548 sats for some lucky person out there today. Can we zoom that in? Oh, I should be doing that every day. That's easier for you, hey? Why didn't I think of that before? We've only been doing that for a year now. That's the funny thing about Gregory says Superbacked encrypts your seed phrase. It is an alternative to stamping on steel and a lot more secure and private. Bingo. Couldn't have said it better myself, Gregory. That's a great comment there. That's a very simple way to think about it. Shit, what was I going to say there? I don't know. What a shitty stream today. This is painful for me. You can add a passphrase to mitigate that. Yeah, but it's still not near as good as something like Superbacked. Passphrase is definitely a step up from just a single sig wallet, but it doesn't have much on Superbacked. Okay. Rick says, good point on the metal detector. Never consider that. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, Superbacked, I remember laying in bed and thinking about it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who do this same thing. And you think about, what could go wrong? You put so much time and energy into getting to this point, learning about Bitcoin, taking your time and energy, putting it into Bitcoin. And you just don't want to wake up one day and that Bitcoin be gone, because what would you do? Number one, you're never going to get that same amount back ever. You get one shot at this thing. And I remember laying in bed and thinking, like, how can I make my security better? And I would just run through the craziest scenarios of like putting my private key in like a golf shaft. But then there's issues with that too. There's issues with everything. And I couldn't find a good solution to the security until I found Superbacked. And it was actually Craig who reached out to me almost a year ago now. And it probably took me 6 months before I realized how valuable that is, how important that is, and why it matters. So if you're hearing me talk about this and you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Don't worry. That's how I felt too. But you're going to come to a point in your Bitcoin journey where you're going to say, my security is good, but there's still holes in it. And again, there's no shortcuts here. So it's not like you jump from like a Aqua wallet to Superbacked. You still have to go in order here, but your end goal should be encrypting your private keys. Man, it's funny. Last night I was watching that replay on the channel from February 2024. And that was actually before Arnie was here. Look at him. Arnie. But it was 10 days before Arnie showed up here. So it's kind of cool to see. That was pre-Arnie. So I'm going to wrap her up here. We're going to call today. One more reminder for Bitcoin Generations today. 2 p.m. Eastern time. Bodie's going to be manning the ship. Maybe me. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what plays out with the weather here. But Clean Your Machine, I see you sent in 2,500 sats to the, where's that wallet here? Speed app. And somebody, I don't know how they got my address here, but somebody sent in 33,000 last night. 33,333. It must have just been on an older video. So kind of wild. But anyways, thank you. If you ever end up watching the show and you sent that in, thank you. So sorry, everybody, I couldn't get to all the comments today, but I do want to give some big shout outs. We set a couple goals. We had Letha, Joey, Otis, Bodie, Genius, Gregory, Joe, Terry, Gregory again, Sats and Sunset, and LaughPad. We had a goal for 10. We hit 11. And we had a record amount of people in here. So thank you, everybody, for the super chats. Thank you for the zaps today. We had Letha. We had Josh with Fatties. We had LaughPad. And we had Clean Your Machine. And Ian. What a show. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Last question. Aren't you trusting all your Bitcoin in Superbacked? What if they go down? So Superbacked is not a company. It's software. And you can, if something were to happen to your laptop that you set it up on, your software, we give you a backup. We keep a backup. You can download a backup from GitHub, also the Internet Archives, and there will be more companies, institutions who are going to be rolling out Superbacked in the next couple of years. So it's impossible for that to happen. But good question. Good question. Joe says, what are your thoughts on Cold Card? They are the best. That's what I use. That's what I recommend. And that's what you should be using as well. Cold Card Q is the best on the market. So I'm going to have all these links in the show notes after the pin comment. But that's all for today. So thanks, everybody, once again. And we'll talk to you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye-bye.